This is from the first canto, chapter number 13, titled Dhritarashtra Quits Home, and verse number 44. We're almost the end of the chapter. There are almost 60 verses, so we are all close to the end. Let me share my screen. Okay, the screen is visible. Just a bit. Yeah, is this font small, Prabhu, or is it big enough? Let's see.
No, it is readable, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, so I'll read the verse. Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam adhruvam banacho bhayam sarvatha nahi shochaste snehadanyatra mohajat. Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam adhruvam banacho bhayam sarvatha nahi shochaste snehadanyatra mohajat. Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam adhruvam banacho bhayam सर्वथा नहि शोचास्ते स्नेहात् अन्यत्र मोहजात्. Anybody would like to recite the verse?
I can try, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam adhruvam vana chobhayam sarvata nahi shocyaste snehad anyatra mohajat.
Right, thank you so much, Prabhu. Wonderful. And let's like recite.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Jai Krishna.
Jai Sri Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam adhruvam vana kobhyam sarvat nahi sochate snehad anyatra mohajat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Very nice. Thank you so much, Santi.
Yeah, I didn't read well.
No, thank you. Jai. Do you want to recite? Okay. So let me go have the synonyms. Yat, even though, manyase, you think. Dhruvam, absolute truth. Lokam, persons. Adhruvam, non-reality. Va, either. Na, or not. Cha, also. Ubhayam, or both ways. Sarvatha, in all circumstances. Na, never. He, certainly. Shochaha, subject for lamentation. Te, they, snehat, due to affection. Anyatra, for otherwise. Mohajat, due to bewilderment. Translation prepared by Divine Grace, Abhaycha Naravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. O King, in all circumstances, whether you consider the soul to be an eternal principle, or the material body to be perishable, or everything to exist in the impersonal absolute truth, or everything to be an inexplicable combination of matter and spirit, feelings of separation are due only to illusory affection and nothing more. The actual fact is that every living being is an individual part and parcel of the Supreme Being, and his constitutional position is subordinate cooperative service. Either in this conditional material existence, or in his liberated position of full knowledge and eternity, the living entity is eternally under the control of the Supreme Lord. But those who are not conversant with factual knowledge put forward many speculative propositions that about the real position of the living entity. It is admitted, however, by all schools of philosophy that the living being is eternal, and that the covering body of the five material elements is perishable and temporary. The eternal living entity transmigrates from one material body to another by the law of karma, and material bodies are perishable by their fundamental structures. Therefore, there is nothing to be lamented in the case of the souls being transferred into another body, or the material bodies perishing at a certain stage. There are others who also believe in the merging of the spirit soul in the Supreme Spirit when it is uncovered by the material engagement. And there are others who also do not believe in the existence of the spirit or soul, but believe in tangible matter, In our daily experience, we find so many transformations of matter from one form to another, but we do not transformations of matter from one form to another, but we do not lament such changing features. In either of the above cases, the force of divine energy is uncheckable. No one has any hand in it, and thus there is no cause of grief. Okay, do the verse once again. Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam adhruvam manacho bhayam sarvatha nahi shocyaste snehad anyatra mohajat. Okay, so the Mangalashan verses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Andeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhashya Kripa Sindhu Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी षण्मथां सुकथा कृष्ण पुण्य श्रवणकीर्तनम् इदन्तस्तु अभद्राणि वितुनोति सुरस्थिताम् यथा यथा गौरपदारविन्दे विन्देत भक्तिं कृतपुण्यराशि तथा तथोत्सर्पितहितकस्मात् राधा पदाम्बोजो सुधाम्ब राशि. Okay, Hare Krishna, thank you so much again, everyone, for joining. I'll do the words once again and they will dive. Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam adhruvam manacho bhayam sarvatha nahi shocyaste snehat anyatra mohajat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about lamentation. This is what being talked about, and this in context of the verse. Then, when the verse talks about 4 different aspects, and when we read through it, we'll try to see if we can remember something like this somewhere else. We read somewhere else. And then what happens if one is really caught up in these illusions? What is the effect, or how is it expressed? When we will see one example from Srimad Bhagavatam, and then how is this lamentation created, and what is the, so to say, of coming out of this illusion. And the last would be, okay, we see the illusion is lamentation is to illusion, everything, but then is there anything which is not subjected, or which is good lamentation, so to say? Is there anything like that? So the various different points we'll try to cover at least, and see. So this verse is Narad Muni is talking to Yudhishthira Maharaj, right? In the 41st verse, when Narad Muni just started speaking, 41st verse, Narad Muni, when he speaks to Yudhishthira Maharaj, he says, Ma Kanchana Sucho Rajan Yad Ishvara Vasham Jagat. Ma Kanchana. He's saying, oh, king, do not lament. Rajan, do not lament for anyone. Yad Ishvara Vasham Jagat. The entire world is under the control Vasha of Ishvara. Do not lament for anyone. Okay. So now I'll try to read different commentaries from the acharyas and then explain the words in different ways, or how they explained. Shri Baldev Vidyabhushan says that prani samyoga viyogayor isha adhinatmak choko na yogam ityuktam. So he says that prani samyoga viyoga. Prani means the living being. Samyoga means together. Viyoga means separate. Sometimes they come together. Sometimes they separate. Okay, and this is because isha adhinatmach is because of the is under the control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, shoko na yoga, no na yogya. Therefore, it's not desirable, it's not suitable to lament. Ityuktam. So you say, so the meeting and separation of the living beings is under the control of Supreme Lord. There's no cause of lamentation. So in these words, Sridharman is saying, yan manyase, let's assume. He's going to give different cases, different combinations. He's going to say, he's saying yan manyase. He's not going to say that these are the these all four are realities, or all four are the truth. There is one truth among them. But he said, let's consider, again, Manyase, if you consider, even if one considers, he's putting a what if, okay, something like that. So he says, Dhruvam, okay, so Dhruvam Lokam, Dhruvam, what is the meaning of Dhruvam? Dhruvam, Vishwachakri Thakur says, Dhruvam Jiva Rupena. Okay, Dhruvam Jiva means, Dhruvam here means Jiva. That if you see here, Prabhupada says, consider the soul. The soul is nowhere here written here, right? The soul is because the Acharyas mentioned Dhruvam Jiva Rupena. Dhruva means here Jiva. The Baldev Vidyabhushan says that Dhruva Pakshe Kutasthatvan na. So here says that Dhruva Pakshe Dhruva, or the soul, is what? Kutastha. So this word Kutastha is in Bhagavad Gita also in chapter number 12, 3 and 4 verse. Kutastham Achalam Dhruvam. Same words there, right? So Kutastham means unchanging. Dhruvam means fixed. Achalam means also immovable. So all kind of similar meanings. So he says, but the idea is, so Nadman is saying that let's consider, if you think the soul to be unchanging, immovable and fixed. That means the soul is something called as Prabhupada in the Prabhupada to the 12th chapter, 3rd and 4th verse, he says that the soul is considered steady or kutastha, and the body is subject to 6 kinds of transformation, birth, growth, then we have byproducts, so many things, right? So it takes birth from the womb, from the mother's body, remains for some time, grows, produces some effect, gradually dwindles, and last perishes. But the soul, however, does not go to any of the changes. It's unchanging. So dhruvam means fixed, kutastha, unchanging, is jiva, jiva rupena. Okay? And we also na jayate mrete vak jatin nayam bhutva bhavitavan bhut. That verse in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. That is dhruvam. So Advaita is saying, one considers that one is dhruvam, one is a soul, unchanging, fixed soul. Okay. Now, what is other thing? Adhruvam. Adhruvam deha rupena. And someone considers oneself to be adhruvam. That means the body. So Baldev Vidyabhushan says that adhruva pakshe nitya vinashvaratvan. Adhruvam pakshe, talking from the side of adhruvam, nitya vinashvratan. I mean, the body is nitya, is bound to get destroyed. Okay, so as we're saying, if one considers soul, one considers oneself eternal principal soul. Okay, that's first case. Second, or if one considers oneself as a body which is about to perish, a soul unchanging, body about to perish. Okay. Now the third and fourth case can be a bit tricky. So please, dhruvam, adhruvam is finished. Now we have two, Va. Okay. Now we have, Pariksha, can you hear me? Is it audible? Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, we can hear.
Oh, mom, it said it's not audible on YouTube or something. Just, I don't know. I know. If there anybody can just check if it's audible on YouTube or anything. It should be, but okay. Let's see. Okay. Then he says, no, the four cases, basically Prabhupada talks of four cases, right? The four cases are Dhruvam, Adhruvam, Va means or Ubhayam. Ubhayam means both. Okay. Now he says, na Ubhayam means na Dhruvam, na api Adhruvam, Brahma Rupena. So it means if someone considers, okay, okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay. So Ubhayam means what now? Now Ubhayam means one doesn't consider oneself Dhruvam, neither Dhruvam, nor Adhruvam. Right? Not the soul, neither a soul, nor a body. Then what? Brahma Rupena. One considers oneself Brahman. Right? So he's saying, so Baldev Bhajan says, Dhruva Adhruva Bhinna Pakshe Tadrisaikasya Satvena Shokasya Nirbhishetva Tatha. It means if you think you are neither body, neither the soul, but consider yourself Brahman, then what's the problem? Okay. So third case, we talk about what it means. Third case. First is soul, unchanging, fixed, immovable. Body, bound to perish. Third is Brahma. If you consider yourself a soul, if you consider yourself the body, or if you consider yourself Brahman. Okay. But the fourth one, Vashabd Ubhayam Cha Chid Jadamsha Rupena. So Shuddha Swami here says that. So Prabhupada here says inexplicable combination. Right? Why is the word inexplicable combination here in this verse? You won't find anywhere. So why? So Shuddha Swami says, Shuddha Brahma Rupena Anirvachanyatvena Va Ubhayam Chid Jadamsha. So here, Anirvachanyatvena, that is word is inexplicable combination. So Shivam says that Va basically means the inexplicable combination of matter and spirit. Okay. So here Nadmani describes four different entities which people take on, or four possibilities of identification taken by people. Dhruvam, Adhruvam, Va, the inexplicable combination of matter and spirit. Right? That means both matter and spirit. They consider oneself. And the fourth one is Ubhayam. Na Ubhayam. Na Ubhayam basically means neither Brahma, neither soul, neither the body, Brahman. Okay. So Dharma says, even if you consider oneself as these four entities, someone considers one of these four, even in this that condition, na shochaya, do not lament. Nahi shochaste. If you hear shochaya basically means lamentation. Nahi shochaste. Do not lament. Why? If a soul, if a changing, if an unchanging, then what's why to lament? No point of lamenting. Okay. Second, adhruvam. If you can say body, if you're about to perish anyway, why to lament? You go anyway. So it can happen at one point or other, no matter what. So why to lament? Third is neither soul, neither body. You can say Brahman. So if you think you are neither, you should not lament since there is no object of lamentation in Brahman, in oneness. Right? Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Those who have reached the Brahman revelation, na shochati. It's no lamentation. So why to lament then? Right? And if one considers oneself both Dhruvam and Adhruvam, then there's no lamentation. Why? We'll talk about that. Their philosophy is that the life started from matter, and then At one point there will be both matter and spirit, and when the body dies, the spirit also dies. Right? So Nadmani is saying that even if one considers either of these cases, there's no probability, there's no possibility, or there's no reason to lament. Okay. Now next question would be, Tarhi kim nimitto ayam loke shoka satraha? Then what is the cause of lamentation? Kim nimitta. People are lamenting still. Why? Why do people lament? Next line and last line says, Srehat anyatra mohajat. Now Shri Baldev Vidabhush explains, right? The lamentation appears because of what? Deha geha adau aham mama iti viparita jnana moha tad jata snehat anyatra iti datadrsha. He says the lamentation occurs because of what? Sneha, affection. Snehad. So the lamentation appears because of affection. But where does affection come from? It comes from mohajat. It comes from moha, illusion. Now, what is this moha? So lamentation is there. What is the cause of lamentation? Sneha, affection. Okay. Why is sneha coming in? What is the cause of sneha? It comes from moha. Moha jat. Jat means from, born from moha. Okay. So what is the quality? What is the characteristic of this moha? What is this moha we're talking about? Baldev Bhushan says, Deha geha adau. Adau means Deha means the body, or Geha means the house, Adau, etc. Aham mama iti. That what is this illusion? What is the cause of illusion? What is this illusion? The false knowledge of thinking of body and house in terms of I and mine. Deha geha adau aham mama iti. It's mine. This is the jnana moha. Okay. So Chakravarti says sneha shoka sthanam iti artha. Such affection is the place of lamentation. When this such affection is that kind of affection is there, lamentation is bound to be there. Sneha eva kevala shoka hetu sa cha ajnana mool iti artha. So affection is the source of lamentation and the root cause of ignorance. Sneha eva kevalam shoka hetu. The cause of shoka is sneha. Cha ajnana moola, the mool of ajnana, the source of root of ignorance. So lamentation comes from sneha. Sneha comes from moha. What is this moha? Deha geha adau aham mama iti. That it's called dehatma buddhi. That everything, all whatever I'm seeing is I and mine. Right? But then at the very end, Shri Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidabhushan gives an exception to this. That's what the last point we're going to talk about. That we'll try. तथा भ्रांति जन्य स्नेह शोक हेतु न हरि तद भक्त स्नेह तथेति. The affection arising from illusion causes lamentation. Okay, but not the affection due to the Lord and the devotees. So affection towards others in general causes lamentation, but the same affection towards Lord and devotees causes lamentation, but not the same. This not the same way, not the same form, characteristics as moha. So here moha basically means born in the material world. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Okay, so with these four identities, it kind of feel a bit familiar. And in the Bhagavad Gita, even can you think of anywhere? At least this something to this effect. Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita one place. If you're conscious of this, then why to worry? If not, then why to worry? The kind of he speaks. Does anyone have any idea?
Yeah, the second chapter starting, Prabhuji, verse after verse, Krishna, the discussion is very similar to this.
Yes. So in 2.11, yes, that. Thank you, Prabhu. Second chapter, 2.11, Krishna starts the Atmagyan. Right? At the very onset, 2.11, Krishna says, Ashochan anma shoshastvam. Ashochan, no, do not lament. Why are you lamenting? Ashochan anma shochas. Shocha is the root for lament. But do not lament, Krishna says. And he goes on to describe the qualities, the characteristics, everything about the soul, saying that we're not the body, but the spirit soul. But almost at the end of this Atmagyan 2.25, Krishna says, Nanu Shoshitum Arhasi, you should not grieve for the body. Okay? But then right after that, 2.26, Krishna gives a response to a counter argument someone gives. What if one considers oneself the body? Then what happens? The Krishna says, Athachainam Nitya Jatam Nityam Manyase Mritam Manyase. Tathapi Tum Mahabaho Nainam Shoshitum Harhasi. He says, if however one thinks the soul we always born or die, or one considers oneself the body, still you know retirement, oh mighty armed Arjuna. The Prabhupada in the purport talks about the kind of people who have this kind of philosophy. It's called Lokayetikas or Vaibhashikas. They consider that life symptoms take place at a certain mature condition of material condition combination. Life comes from matter, basically. Okay, so this is the Va. Remember the four categories: Dhruvam, Adhruvam, Na Ubhayam, and Va. Inexplicable combination of matter and spirit. This is the inexplicable matter and spirit. Nadbun is talking about that life comes from matter at one point, then will stay, and when the body dies, soul also dies. Finish. Okay. So this Vaibhav philosophy is the one which Srila Swami says, Shuddha Brahma Rupena Anirvachinetvena Va Ubhayam. Okay. So now Krishna then concludes the section Bhagavad Gita with the words Jatasya Dhruvo Mityur Dhruvam Janma Mritasya Cha. He says one has taken birth, sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Simple as that. So Krishna says, gives the conclusion there. And one of the expressions, as I mentioned, if one considers oneself Brahman, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na Shochati. No lamentation. Okay. Now the next question will be, then why do people lament? Right? Because Baldev says, Aham Mama Iti. In Srimad Bhagavatam 5:5-6. This is the teachings of Lord Rishabhadev. Beautiful verse. He says, Evam mana karma vasham prajunte avidyatmanyupadhiyamana mani pritirna yavan maiva sudeve namuchyate deha yoge na tavat. Sorry, not this one. Oh, this is a very different verse. 8, so my bad. 5.5.8. Yes. He says, Janasya moho ayam aham mameti. So he says the attraction between male and female is a basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his home, body, property, children, relatives. Ato griha, kshetra, suta apta vittair. Griha means home, kshetra means field, suta means child, apta means relatives, vittair means wealth, right? In this way, one increases one's life's illusions and things in terms of I and mine. This is the cause. Right? So this is general Siddhanta. So Sri Prabhupada writes in the purport that most people, you see here, most people are bound by the knots of marital relationship. Not everyone. This is a general Siddhanta, but of course there are exceptions to the rule as well. So why do people lament? So when we read a newspaper, let's say, when we read newspaper or any article on the internet, it says 100 people died in this train accident or this plane crash, something. So we at this, we feel, oh no, 500 people died. Okay, and we may become sad for some time, maybe a few minutes, maybe an hour, and then say these airlines are foolish, this what they can't even make properly. This Boeing or this whatever company whichever makes the planes, they can't do quality testing. What is this? The government should do something. We may speak something to someone for some time and then forget. We just turn the page and go on. Now, would we do the same thing if one of our loved ones, if one of our near ones, husband, wife, children, something, were on that particular plane? No. We won't turn the page, just turn the page and go, okay, okay. No. Why? Because the affection is not there. See, no affection doesn't mean no compassion. Okay, devotees or people, or devotees should be the people and they'll have some compassion, right? But affection is kind of a bit more, advanced or in a sense extreme stage. So being compassionate doesn't mean be affectionate. Being compassionate means being affectionate, of course, but being affectionate doesn't mean. So one can be compassionate and also be not too much affected by that affection. You can do that, right? So we would have lamented if we had one of our loved ones, like husband, wife, children, father, mother, someone. Right? We would have actually lamented. We would have said, no, we better make hue and cry. We would have done something, not just turn the page, right? Because sneha, there's affection. And due to what? Because they are mine, the I and is mine. And with the, that is why. That is why. Right? In the sixth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a very apt description of this, of Maharaj Chitraketu. Okay, Chitraketu, by the mercy of Angira Muni, had a son. Even though he was not supposed to by karma, he was not supposed to have son. But Angira Muni, by his potency, gives son and told that his name Harsha Shoka. Will give both happiness and distress. Shoka means lamentation here, literally. So now, one thing led to the another. The wives of, they had many wives. The other wives became very envious, and then they poisoned the child. And upon knowing the death of the child, started what? Of course, there's affection. Affection will lead to, affection is the place for lamentation, and that started. It ensued. Chapter number 6, chapter number 14, verse 48. So I'll read a couple of verses, very beautiful, potent verses. So when the queen Kritadyuti learned about the death of the child, it says, Papata bhumau parivriddha shucha mumoha vibritsa suroha hamba. He says, with great lamentation, her hair, dress was in disarray, and the queen fell unconscious. Okay. Now, the next verse, 51st verse, basically. He says, Sneha Anubandhaiditya Shucha Brisham. He says that when Chitaketu Maharaj heard the story of son's death, he said, Shutva Mritam Putram. Shutva Mritam Putram. When he heard of that son, Alakshita Antakam. Knowing that the cause of death is unknown. Alakshita Antakam Alakshita. He doesn't know. Vinishta Drishti. He couldn't see properly because of great lament. He almost became blind. Papatan's Khalanpati, and whenever as he was going towards his child, he kept falling because that is great intense distress. Kept falling. Why? Sneha Anubandha, because of affection. Editayat, increasing affection, as the lamentation grew like blazing fire. Shucha Brisham Vimurchito Anupraktir Vijay Vrata. So as he went towards his dead child, his lamentation grew, increased like blazing fire. Right? And Papata Balasya Pada Mule. So as he was crying, he kept going towards his feet of his dead child. And Mitasya Vrishta, his hair, his dress, everything was in disarray. He was Dirgam Shwasan, he was breathing very heavily. Bhashpa Kala Uparodhato. He's crying with tearful eyes. Niruda Kantha, his choked voice. Na Shashaka Bhashitum. He could not even speak, words but not even coming out of his mouth. This is the condition of Chittaketu Maharaj in lamentation when he came to know the death of his child due to affection. Sneha Anubandha. Not speak. Same thing when Bali Maharaj, after Bali Maharaj conquered the heavenly planets, Mother Aditi, when she requested Kashyap Muni, in that, please do something. I want my sons to have good fortune. I want them to reoccupy their positions in heavens. Then Kashyap Muni says, Shukadeva Goswami saying, Evam abhartito ditya kastam aha smayan iva aho maya balam vishnu sneha baddham idam jagat. He says, how powerful this illusion energy. Our Lord Vishnu, by which the entire world is bound by the affection for children. Aditi. Right? So, and this affection is not just for people, it can be for animal also. How? Bharat Maharaj in 5.8.11 is it iti krita anusanga, having developed attachment, anusanga, attachment by doing what? Asana, sitting, shayana, lying down, then atana, walking, snana, bathing, ashana, adishu, ashana means eating and etc. With what? Sahamriga, with the deer, calf. What happened? Sneha anubaddha hridaya asit. The heart became captivated by affection. The possible animal species also. And became, right? So, when the queen saw her husband in great lamentation, Patim nirikshoru suchar pitam tada mritam chabalam sutam ekashantatim. So, he saw her husband in great lamentation. She lamented various ways, right? Because of affection, the attachment of me and mine. So in 6 point and in from 54th verse, the lamentation starts. She started cursing the Lord himself. Alas, O providence, O creator, you are certainly inexperienced in creation. Because she says that the cause of lamentation is the Lord. The cause of him doing is, so she's saying, what is the cause of him doing this? Is his foolishness. He's foolish. And she gives the Lord some advice for his own benefit. And so that he will not do this again, this kind of thing again. She says the Lord is inexperienced, childish, and the creation, the laws is faulty. So she basically puts it in that great lamentation. So Prabhupada says in the purport that in this kind of situation, this is how people behave when there's there's reversals in life. They start putting, throwing mud on the Lord, cursing the Lord. Great lamentation. She says, she continues, my Lord, you say that there's no law that a father must die in lifetime. Let's say, right? If fruity act is so strong that birth and death depend on it, there's no need of control of God. Again, if you say that a control is needed because the material energy does not have the power to act, one may answer that if the bonds of affection, sneha pasha, you have created are disturbed by fruitive action, then no one will raise children with affection. Right? So he says that, but you have created so much bonds for affection for increasing your creation. You cut these bonds. So basically, she is in such distress, cursing the Lord because of lamentation. This is the example, one of the extreme or examples which is mentioned in Bhagavatam, that can happen when one is actually very tightly identifying with the body. Right? We have been already told, yan manya se, we may one thinks dhruvam, adhruvam, va, na ubhayam. Still, there's no cause of lamentation. Right? Because this is because affection is a place of lamentation. He says, Chakravarti says, Sneha eva kevam shokasthanam. That is the place for lamentation, Krishna says. Chakravarti says. Okay. So Shukadeva Goswami continues to say that the wife was lamenting for her dead son. And Chitraketu began to cry loudly with open mouth, being greatly aggrieved. Of course, we can't say, hey, do not lament. We cannot start proposing philosophy there at one point. Right? But we should know. Okay. So Kunti says that Atha Vishvesha Vishpatman Vishwamurte Svakeshu me Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Didam Pandu Shuvishnishu. O Lord, O soul of the universe, O personality of form of universe, please therefore sever my tie of affection for my kinsman. Right? So she wanted to sever skin tie, not affection as devotees. Identifying with my child, my kinsman. I don't want that. Because that is the cause of lamentation will happen. Right? But then how to get out of the ropes of affection, how to get out of the illusion? How did Chitraketu Maharaj got out? As we have visiting devotee right now here. He says, answer for how is Sangha. Right? Those devotees who are cultivating that. So by associating with Narad Muni and Angira Muni, they gave him the Vigyan, transcendental knowledge. And thereby he was able to make sense, right? So at one point we have to understand. So of course, when someone passes away, we should not become like a stone heart. No, don't care. No lamentation. No. This grieving and this lamenting. Grieve means you become sad. Of course you become sad because you're in association with them and they're living, it becomes sad. But lamenting is an extreme degree. That should not happen. Because lamentation can one can maybe close shut doors and maybe can leave, can understand, no, there's no God anywhere. It's bakwas, There's one person, I think he has mentioned by Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, is giving this example. There's one person who was a wonderful devotee of Lord Chaitanya, very staunch devotee of Lord Chaitanya. And at one point, his daughter became affected from some disease. She started praying, oh Lord Chaitanya, please help my daughter. No, please save my daughter. And at one point, daughter left her body. And next thing which Sri Thakur came to know was that he started propagating against, there is Lord Chaitanya. It's not foolish, it is useless. There's no one like there's no one person like Lord Chaitanya. Started going the other way. Why? Just because Lord Chaitanya did not fulfill what he wanted. Right? This is not how we should be. Right? Of course, this is extreme case of lamentation. Going against the Lord, just like Kritayuti did. We should grieve, of course. We can grieve. We have the prayer of separation, at least especially for devotees. Right? We sing in the Disciplines Day of our Acharyas or Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, so wonderful devotees. So Chirakirti Maharaj got out of the bonds of affection of the illusion by the mercy of Narad Muni and Angira Muni, by the instructions, and also by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, 7th chapter, which is Sons of Durana Pranished. A very beautiful verse. Yasyam Shuyamānāyam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Utpaddate Pumsa Shokamoha Bhayapaha. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. The feelings of love for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Srimad Bhagavatam. So Chakravarti Thakur gives a very beautiful explanation on this. They say that the main aim of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is to prema. It gives prema. Here, bhakti utpadete means bhakti here. Chakravarti Thakur means prema. Srimad Bhagavatam can give prema. Okay, and then what happens by this prema? Destruction of samsara is an unsought. It's a byproduct. Shokamoha bhayapaha. So one if Srimad Bhagavatam would even in maybe the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, first or second chapter, is that one even desires to read Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna becomes captured in their heart. What to then speak of those reading Bhagavatam, those who are making others read Bhagavatam, those who are making others listen to Bhagavatam, even more, right? And by that, bhakti will arise in the heart, prema, and this Shokamo Bhapa is the byproduct for that. Right? Bhagavatam has the potency to show Kumoha Bhaya Apaha, extinguish lamentation and illusion. Right? So in this Bhajan by Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he mentions how should we look at our relatives. This bhajan is called Amar Bolite Prabhu. Amara Bolite Prabhu, Ara Kichu Nahi, Tumi e Amara Matra Pita Bindu Bhai. Nothing remains mine. Father, friend, brother, you're even this to me. This Krishna, he's saying to Krishna. That then says, Bandhu Dara Suta Suta, Tavadasi Dasa, Seito Sambandhe Sabe Amara Prayasa. He says, those whom I call friends, wife, sons, and daughters are all your servants and maid servants. Whatever care I take for them is only as it relates to you. They are in relation to you, that's why I take care of them. Dhana jana graha dara tomara boliya rakha kori ami matro sevak hoiya. If I continue to maintain my wealth, my family members, home and wife, it is because they are yours. I'm just a mere servant taking care of them because they are yours. This is a high stage, elevated thinking of consciousness. He's taking care of the children, the house, everything because they relate to you. I'm just a mere servant. Right? And this shoka is one of the limbs of bhakti which is not supposed to be done. The 16th limb of bhakti by Sri Rupa Goswami, 6 limbs, he says, shoka amarsha, shoka adi avasha vartita. One should shoka adi avasha vartita. Should definitely not be controlled by shoka. So he gives in this pramana from the Padma Purana, I think so. Shoka amarsha adibhir bhaver akrantam yasya manasam katham tatra mukundasya spurti sambhavana bhavet. If one is afflicted, attacked, if one's mind is attacked by what? Shoka, amarsha, adi, lamentation, enviousness. This, how can there be this spurti, the appearance of Mukunda in the heart? Right? So this shoka is not a good bhava, not good mood, emotion to have until in the material sense, because the appearance of Mukunda is not possible. It's impossible basically in that condition. If one is affected by that. So now Prabhupada in the purport goes on to say in our current verse, he says that feelings of separation are due only to illusory affection, nothing more. But then, so if it's illusion, we should give it up, right? But is it possible fully give feelings of separation? These feelings, can we give these feelings? Prabhupada in the purport to 1.842, he says that to cut off the tie of all other affections does not mean complete negation of final elements like affection for someone else. Right? That is not possible, Prabhupada says. A living being, wherever, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because the symptom of life is there. The symptoms of life are desire, anger, hankering, feeling, attraction. It cannot be annihilated. Oh, okay. Then Prabhupada says again, and 1.622, Prabhupada says, a living being cannot be vacant of desires. It's not a dead stone. It's not a dead stone. Working, thinking, feeling. But when it thinks, feels, or wills materially, he becomes entangled. And conversely, when he thinks, feels, and wills for the service of the Lord, it becomes gradually free of entanglement. It's not the feelings. The feelings is not the problem. The object of feelings is the problem. So he says, Prabhupada says, only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be negated. But in devotional service, the desire is changed for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc. consists of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it's called devotional service. How can this be changed? Right? An example given by, I think, by Shri Haripasha Prabhu in one of the classes, and I think the realization is by Shri Hari Suri, and I don't remember, we should adding a time to look which class was it. So you give an example like a betel nut, right? Betel nut, we have a green leaf, betel nut, limestone, whatever we put, right? And we eat. When one chews that, what happens? It becomes red. It's like, just for looking at you, never imagine that red color coming out of that, right? So it becomes red, anurag, rag. So by performing bhakti in association with sajati, ashaya, sigdhe, sadhu, sangatobare, with associated with devotees, like-minded devotees who are affectionate, who are experienced or more senior than you, then what happens? That they becomes filled with rag, means red. That the chewing is being associated with devotees with that particular characteristic of sajatiya, snigdhe, and satobare. It becomes red, means rag, attachment develops towards devotees. So as Chakradev mentioned in the very start, I mentioned affection for devotees or the Lord is not the same as this one we were talking about. The difference, right? So we may have negative emotions. Lamentation is a negative emotion, but Shira Rupa Goswami says, Nishedha, do not do this. Do not become controlled by lamentation. Now, is there a way to dovetail the anarthas which we have, negative emotion which we have in service of Krishna? We have heard of anger. Or Hanumanji had anger. He destroyed Lanka. Very nice. But what about other emotions? Can that be done? So Sri Narottama Das Thakur in his Prema Bhakti Chandrika, song number 2, he says, um, Kama Krodha Moha Lobha मद मात्सर्य दंभस स्थाने स्थाने नियुक्त करीबो आनंद कोरि हृदये रिपु कोरि पराजये अनायासे गोविंद भजीबो. He says, I shall fight with lust, anger, bewilderment, greed, madness, envy and pride. Defeating them, I will become blissful at heart and will easily become able to worship Lord Govinda. Then he gives, how will I fight? How will you fight? Krishna seva kamarpana, krodha bhakta dveshi jane, lobha sadhu sange hari katha, moha ishta labha vine, mada Krishna guna gane, niyukta karibo yatha. He says, lust, I will engage in offering the fruits of my work to Lord Krishna. Krishna seva kama arpane. Anger, I will direct towards the enemies of the Lord. Krodha bhakta dveshi jane. Lobha sadhu sange hari katha. Greed, I will engage to hear hari katha and to engage in sadhu sangha. I'll engage my greed in that. Moha ishta labhe vine. Bewilderment will be manifested because I cannot immediately attain worship of Lord. You see in our Bhakti Sutra, Parama Vyakulita, bewilderment will manifest when I cannot immediately worship the Lord. Bewilderment, Lord, where is the Lord? That bewilderment will happen. Mother Krishna Gunagani, madness will be there when I madly glorify the transcendent attributes of Krishna. In this way, I will engage each of these in service of Lord Krishna. So instead of he just say neti, 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 no. He's going to try to spiritualize it. This is the path given by Sri Narottama Das Thakur. Right? So Ashtakoti Path mentions, this we have 4 minutes left. I just quickly give the last part where he says that Mohajat iti anena bhagavad bhakti sambandhi sneha vyavrta. So he says that bhagavad bhakti sambandhi sneha is vyavrta, is exception to this. Right? So the affection arising from illusion called lamentation, but not the affection related to the Lord as devotees. We can be affectionate towards the devotees. We should be affectionate towards the devotees. So unlike the primary rasas, there are secondary rasas, right? Like the hasya, adbhuta, virya, karuna, raudra, bhayanaka, bibhatsa. These are secondary rasas. And they don't have fixed alambana. Alambana basically means the support. So bhakti rasa is composed of 5 elements. Sthai bhav, then we have vibhav, anubhav, sattvika bhav, and vyabhichari bhav. How to understand in a very simple ways? If you say we have eggplant sabji, you don't just have eggplant as it is. We have tomato, we have oil, we have mustard seeds, water, masala, so everything we have. Everything is there, but you say eggplant sabji. So eggplant is a sthai bhav, and the bhav, sattvika bhav, or vyabhichari bhav. So all these four nourish this sthai bhav, just like waves in the ocean. If sthai bhav is the ocean, this vibhava, anubhava are the waves in the ocean which nourishes the ocean of sthai bhav. When these 5 things come together, nourishes the sthai bhav, then that is called rasa. Okay. So now vibhava has 2 aspects, alambana and uddipan. Okay. Now alambana basically means the support, the person in relation to whom the rati, and the other element is expressed the person in whom the rati others experience. So it is experiencer and the experienced. Is alambana, the support, takes on support. Okay. So this Vishaya alambana, this Ashraya alambana. Vishaya alambana is the object of support. Ashraya is the experiencer of that particular rati. Okay. So, in the wise concept, Bhakti Rasamrita mentions that the wise consider the alambana to be Krishna as object of love and his devotees as the experiencer of that love. Okay, the Krishna and his devotees are alambana, support. Okay, the basic alambana is Krishna and his devotees, and this secondary characteristics, it fix alambana. They can come and it can appear occasionally in any of the person with primary rasas, any of the sthai bhavas, right? Any of the person with this primary rasas, it can appear in any. Just like we have Sakhya Bhav. Sakhya Bhav is a particular person. Sakhya Bhav doesn't come, let's say, Mother Shra won't have Sakhya Bhav. That doesn't make any sense. It's Sthai Bhav, right? But the Hasya, Adbhuta, Virya can appear in any of the persons. Okay, this affection. So, in one of the, rasas, secondary rasas, is called Karun Ras. Okay, Karun Ras. Karun Ras is, it mentioned that when the Shoka Rati is nourished in the heart of the devotee by suitable vibhava, other elements, is called Karun Bhakti Ras. The Karun Bhakti Ras, Sthai Bhav is what? Shokarati, lamentation. So lamentation is not a bad thing if utilized properly, or if it's present properly. The Shokarati, right? So, but Krishna cannot form a swarupa of bliss, Satchidananda, into misery, right? But because of different varieties of prema, Krishna's dear ones take on the appearance of falling into misfortune and become the object of Karundas. There's some examples given by Shri Rupa Goswami. So, one of the examples is when Krishna is the object of lamentation, right? So, for example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, just a couple of minutes, 10, we have 16, 10. This is the Kaliya pastime. You see here, it says that this is in Vasanta Tilakam, Tam Naga Bhoga Parivitam Adrishta Cheshtam Aloke Tat Priya Sakha Pashupab Prashartha Krishner Pitatma Smrut Artha Kalatra Kama Dukha Nushoka Bhaya Moodha Diyoni Petu. And the members of the covered community had accepted Krishna as a dearmost friend, so him enveloped in snakes' coils, motionless, they were greatly disturbed. They had offered Krishna everything, their very self, their family, their wealth, everything. Right? And the sight of the Lord in clutches of the Kaliya snake, the intelligence became deranged by grief, lamentation, and fear, and thus they fell to the ground. This lamentation, is it material? No way, because he's related to the Lord and his devotees. So here the object of lamentation is the Lord. Seeing the Lord in this condition, they fell into deep well of lamentation. But this is a good lamentation. Okay. Now there are examples for when the devotees are the object of lamentation. For example, when Shankachura came and took away all the girlfriends of Krishna, Balaram is saying that his moon-like face becomes blue and becomes with sorrow. So here the object of lamentation was the devotees of Krishna. Right? Here Bhagavan himself became part of Karunaras. Another example of relatives becoming object of lamentation is saying that when Sahadev, this is given by Sri Goswami in Bhakti Sindhu, every translation, seeing the intense effulgence emanating from the two lotus feet of Govinda, Sahadev, one of the Pandavas, overcome with bliss, began to lament. Oh, Mother Madri, his mother, where have you gone? Oh, Father Pandu, where are you? You could not see Krishna, the ocean of sweet bliss. Alas, alas. He's lamenting that I got a chance. Where are you? That's unfortunate. You could not get the darshan of the lotus feet of Krishna. He's lamenting in that way. So, though lamentation appears and becomes intense, it also spreads the condition of undetected happiness, and which is very difficult. Sri Rupa Goswami mentions that is very difficult to describe. Right? And one very close example given by Sanatana Goswami, I think, is in Bhagavatam is, which I've heard before also, is ice and fire. So if you get burnt by fire, you get burning. Your hand gets burnt by fire. But if it's ice, and if you put a hand on the ice, naked hand, you should get burnt. So the external manifestation is the same, but the causes are different. Right? So here, even though it may look the lamenting, but the causes, what is because of two different reasons. They still happen. This happiness in lamenting, this increase in prema when lamenting. It's not material sadness. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it's mentioned that all the devotees, especially Brajavasis, they are never even touched by a tinge of material unhappiness. It's not a tinge. Even though they may cry, they may beat their chest, there's so many apparently material negative qualities, but they never ever experience any of the negative effects. They're not affected by material qualities. Right? So, going back to the verse 113:44. Yan manyase dhruvam lokam adhruvam vacha vanacho bhayam sarvata nahi shosyaste snehar anyatra mohajat. Okay. So, thanks so much, Prabhu. Okay. So, Krishna says, one consider yourself a soul, or one consider yourself your body, one consider yourself Brahman, or combination of both. In your case, you should not lament. Oh, Yudhishthira Maharaj. Okay, Jai, thank you so much for joining. I hope to be beneficial. I don't know. I just did whatever I could. Sorry, a mistake. If it is like a boring class or could not get anything else, I'm very, very sorry. But thank you so much for listening, for being patient. If anything good is in the class, it's all the mercy of our previous acharyas, Guru Janas, Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj. And if there's any mistake, not if there's a mistake, there is a mistake, there are mistakes. It's all because of me. So please kindly forgive me, please correct me, please add more. I'm sure there are so many things to add. Please to do. Thank you so much. All Shri ki Jai. Are there any comments, corrections, suggestions? Please feel free to share.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
That's beautiful class, Prabhuji. It was very, very elaborative. Covered all aspects of the lamentation. We started by explaining uh, the, um, the series of verses between Yudhishthira Maharaj and Narada Muni, and you draw the parallels with Arjuna and Krishna's conversation in the second chapter, and Chitraketu Maharaj lamentation. In a way, you covered like how a materialistic person feels, from the material point of view, how lamentation is looked at, and then you went to how it is applicable to devotees, where we should not be, uh, you know, um, uh, it's not good conducive for our devotional practice to experience these kind of strong emotions. And you took one level up and went to the perfect stage where you gave a small crash course on rasa vichar, and you gave a perspective from the point of perspective devotee. So you covered all aspects of this lamentation. So very, very beautiful. I love the class. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Always Shri Prabhupada, thanks. Jai. Okay. No questions then. Thank you so much. We can wrap up. We can see you in the afternoon for lecture of Shri Prabhu. Thanks so much. Vancha